What is going on, guys? This is Jay Kraft here again for another special presentation. Last week we were joined by Scott Zilk, the bearded picker, and this week we are being joined by none other than Jason Deason, fellow YouTube content creator, the channel Thrift Trader. How are you doing today, buddy?
I'm good, Jay. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, bud. So I was really excited about having you on because you're one of the few people that's very, very open about the topic of storage units on YouTube. And not a lot of people enjoy being as transparent as you are about some of the things you find. And not a lot of people even know much about storage unit buying as a whole. But I wanted to kind of pick your brain a little bit and ask you how long you've been doing it and what do you think of the experience so far?
Well, in all the honesty, buying storage units, I'm only actually 2 or 3 months into this adventure. And, it's actually been really interesting. The cool thing about buying storage units is as you're going through the items in the storage unit, you get to kind of learn about the person's past. You get to kind of learn about their life and their lifestyle. And it just kind of tells a story as you're going through the storage unit. So that's one of my favorite things about it.
So 2-3 months into doing that, how long have you been a reseller as a whole now?
Reselling, I've been a reseller for nearly 12 years now. Most of that time spent on eBay alone. But recently I've branched out to Amazon. I've been on Amazon a couple of years, but recently Poshmark and Facebook Marketplace as well.
Very nice, very nice. What actually made you make that transition? Because I always love picking people's brain about, where that jump happened for you.
Sure. When I went full-time in the past reselling, I've been a full-timer in the past a couple of years, not simultaneous, but apart from one another. And, it's kind of difficult to rely on one platform for all of your income. And I firmly believe that it's best, especially if you're planning on going full-time as a reseller, to not put all your eggs in one basket, but kind of diversify your selling platforms. That way you have income streams from more than just one location. Plus, the more eyes you can get on a product, the better. And like when you're dealing with storage units, you'll get furniture. I mean, it's inevitable. And, it would be difficult to sell furniture on eBay just because of the shipping. Of course, you can sell it locally on eBay, but you can sell it just as easily, if not quicker, on Facebook Marketplace.
I love the marketplace, honestly. Like when I feel the need to do some shopping and kind of want to get my fix, Marketplace is one of the first places I go to because you can get some really, really incredible deals on there from people that are just looking to get rid of stuff now, just kind of get it out the damn door. So you do quite a bit of furniture onto the marketplace though yourself?
Yes, I do. Whatever I get from the storage units, that's by far the easiest manner of selling it. And we all know furniture takes up a lot of space, so that's usually the first thing I'm listing is the furniture to get it out of here as quick as it came in. So
very nice, very nice. Now, another reason why I wanted to have you on, because I know you got a couple of months doing the storage units, but you picked up what I think many would consider to be one of the best storage units probably of the year. And, and I don't mean to really overplay it, but this might be one of the best units you may get in your entire life, honestly. It's a pretty insane unit. Do you mind sharing with us some of the details about what you've, and you haven't even extracted everything yet, but I mean, just of what you found so far.
Yeah. Jay, I feel extremely fortunate, and it was just a stroke of luck. I mean, it really is. But the simplicity of the matter is the only way you're going to even hit a stroke of luck is if you try in the first place. And, in this storage unit, in total, including taxes and renting the storage unit for 1 month so I wasn't pressured to get it all out and very quickly, I paid just under $600. And
that's new news to me. I had never even asked about the specifics before, and that now knowing that I'm very, very impressed.
Yeah, it was a 10 by 20 storage facility that went up for auction on storagetreasures.com, and I was looking at the pictures, and it was plumb full of boxes, and you could see a couch. But as far as the eye could see all the way to the back, it looked like it was just a bunch of boxes. But a few things caught my eye. in the storage unit that made me pull the trigger. Like shoot, this guy right here was staring at me right in the middle of the storage unit, and
Staring directly into your soul, it appears.
well, I took a look at him, and you could only see this part up of the guy because he was sitting inside of a milk crate and had packing material around him and stuff, so you could only see like from his shoulders up. But it just dawned on me after seeing that most people don't have things like that. And I just kept kind of playing in my mind, like, most people don't have something like that just sitting around. And I started zooming in on the pictures, like all the boxes were very nicely stacked onto one another. And, I saw another box that said Funko Pop or Funko LLC, and it read, it was like a Captain America collector core is what it was, like a little statuette. It was just the box. I could see just the box, not like the shipping box. And so I didn't even know if it was inside of there, but it got me thinking, maybe this person's a collector of something. Those are other signs that you really want to look for when you're buying in storage units. You want to look for signs that person may be a collector of some sort.
Let me ask you this too. Now, you're saying you're seeing pictures. So here in California, our storage auctions are a little bit different. We have a couple of scenarios. One where they'll either roll the door up and literally there's no action beforehand. There's no pictures posted online or anything. They'll roll the door up, and half of them you stand on the outside and you make your evaluation from the outside. And I've been to one or two where they'll push stuff to the side and they'll create an aisle and they'll let people go in and out, but you can't touch anything. And I've seen those two scenarios, but I'll be honest with you. Here in California, a 10 by 20 with boxes from front to back that are essentially unmarked, I have never seen that scenario go for under $2,000 here in California. So let me ask, is 600 for a 10 by 20, is that average? Is that high? Is that low? Like, where does that fall?
I'm honestly not sure. I would be lying to tell you either way because, like I said, I'm only 2 or 3 months into this. This is my 6th storage unit in total.
Well, let's just say compared to the other ones that you've purchased, is this the most you've paid, or is this somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, this is the most I've paid for one storage unit. I purchased a 10 by 15 for a little over $400. So I guess with my limited knowledge, I would say that that's about average here. And I mean, I know that it depends from one demographic to another because it depends on your competition. But, at the end of the day, even at $2,000, I feel like this storage unit would still be worth it.
Oh, easily.
But the thing is like, in this storage unit, I found 25 boxes full of comic books. Some of them dating, Bronze Age, 1970s, early 80s. A lot mid 80s.
And we really need to kind of specify to people. We're talking what could be, 10 up to, what do we say, maybe $50,000 potentially worth of comics there. I know the range is a little bit nutty, but there's some big numbers there.
Yeah, I would say safely $10,000 probably in comics. That's including all of the more sought after comics.
They call them key issues. Yeah.
Yeah, like Cerebus the Aardvark. The very first Cerebus the Aardvark I've seen in very good condition, CGC graded, go for over $2,000. And I ended up with that comic and probably about 25 issues past that number 1 issue as well. So I have probably 1 to 26 of that very comic. So, and I've got the very first 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The first one I think is 3rd print.
Most of the ones on eBay are 3rd print of issue 1. There's a lot of comps, and that's a ton of money as well.
Yeah, and the second one, if I recall, was like the 2nd printing, and the number 3 and number 4 of that comic were first prints. So, it's pretty wild what I've been able to find in this. And you know, also in the photos when I was looking at buying it, I saw I saw what looked to be possible artwork. Like you could just see the frames, and they were covered with a bed sheet. But seeing that Funko Pop, seeing this bronze statue guy or this bronze bust, um, I had to assume that it was artwork, only because of what I'd seen. What I could see with my own eyes was this person was a collector. This person took care of their stuff. This person took a lot of care packing this storage unit in the manner that they did. Not only, and it wasn't, none of the boxes were really crushed. A lot of the boxes were brand new, purchased from Lowe's to pack up this stuff. So, you know, that's something else that I took into consideration when bidding on this unit.
I wouldn't even go as far as what you said with a stroke of luck. Now, obviously, there was a bit of extra that came with this unit, but for me, luck has always been opportunity meeting preparation, and I really think that, you know, the preparation you had there, knowing, like, when I see these types of indicators, quality boxes, you know, what looks like artwork, you know, a bronze or cast iron type figure, that there's something there. And what you saw, I don't think many others did. I mean, anyone else could have technically, you know, been there and bid against you, but I think you took an opportunity and made the most of it.
Well, here's the thing. On typical storage units, you don't really want to put much of an evaluation on just a box because you simply don't know what's in that box. Okay. And a lot of people, just seeing a whole bunch of boxes scares them away because it's the uncertainty, the unknown. You know, like a lot of people, what they'll do bidding on storage units is they'll take what they can see with their bare eyes and they'll evaluate what they can see, and that's their top bid.
See, here in California, we have a gambling problem out here, and the people that we go against, they'll count the number of boxes and they'll say, I could probably spend at least $50 a box. There's got to be at least $50 in each one of those boxes, and they will bid that way, and then anything over is a win and anything under is a loss. And there's people that are going to be watching this right now and saying, yep, that is exactly what he's talking about. This is exactly how it works here on the West Coast.
Yeah, and it's very possible. I mean, if that was the case, Jay, there was probably 150 boxes in this storage unit, so you could do the math.
The 150 boxes would have comfortably been probably a $4,000 bid out here. If we're talking like, you know, medium to large size Lowe's boxes, yeah. It would have eaten $4, $5, $6 no problem.
Right. And see, here's the thing, you know, by evaluating what you can see, take into consideration what you can't see. So, for instance, you know, this bronze bust of a Roman soldier, okay, you can see that with your own eyes. Now you have to start questioning yourself, what kind of people were these people? What were they into? Did they collect things? Is there, you know, at that point you can kind of start to realize that the potential of valuable items inside the boxes goes up versus going down. If you see like a tricycle missing a wheel, and that's all you can see, and there's 10 other boxes, you can assume that, you know, you're probably looking at junk in those boxes for the most part.
It's probably going to be a scrap unit.
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. Now, you went ahead and did us the wonderful service of grabbing a few other items from that unit, and you got them there with you. What are we going to be able to take a peek at today?
Yeah. Okay. So I actually showed these on my my last YouTube video that I posted. There's about 10 or 12 of these giant size comics, and this one, for instance, is issue 6 of the Marvel Treasury Edition, Doctor Strange. Let me see if I can find a date on here. This is copyright 1975. So this is, you know, mid 70s. Here's issue 4, Conan the Barbarian. We've got issue 9 here, issue 11.
Now, are people going to be cringing the fact that these aren't in, you know, cardboard protectors, cellophanes?
Well,
you're touching them with your bare hands. What type of value are we looking at with these?
You know, I think we're looking somewhere around $30 to $50 per comic in the condition that they're in. Like here's number 1.
Whoa.
This is Savage Fists of Kung Fu.
The color
Mar-
on that is amazing, for
yeah,
its age.
yeah. The thing is that this was copyright 75 as well. Um, the thing is they were just stored in a box, and gosh, the way they look, I would assume that they just stayed in that box forever and ever. So, I mean, they're not, CGC 9.8s or anything like that. They're probably 7.5 to 8.5 if I was to guess. I don't know anything about comic book grading, but I would assume that's probably where they're at. Um, but for their age, I would consider it in pretty darn good condition for not being bagged and boarded. I don't even know if you can bag and board these
Oh, they
giant
make
size.
them. They got oversized bagging boards. Yeah,
Well, good. I need
yeah.
to get some.
If
That's
there's
the thing.
something to be protected, there's a protector made for it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is they came out of the storage unit this way, and I have not ran across bag and boards that are large enough. And I just pulled these out just a couple of days ago. So I need to get to the comic shop and get some stuff to protect these for sure. So
100%. Now, there was a bunch of other stuff that you found in there, and you even found some stuff that caused a little bit of ripple, a little bit of questioning. But you're a man of integrity. What was the big score that came out of that unit that really got everyone's attention?
this that right there was the big score.
So for those who are listening along, tell everyone what you found.
A lot of gold jewelry, and it just blew my mind. Honestly, we found gold in three separate occasions in this storage unit. Found a good lump of gold jewelry in one box pretty early on, digging into the unit, and then towards the end of the unit, we found another several jewelry boxes which had several pieces of gold. The first find was strictly just rings. And then, of course, I got to thinking to myself, there is a possibility of running across necklaces and bracelets and earrings because we didn't find any of that. We found just rings. And so later on, towards the back end of the unit, we ran across more of these jewelry boxes. And it just so happened to be necklaces and bracelets and earrings. So we found so far right now, I need to get it tested. They are out of everything that is stamped. I weighed it, not troy ounces, but just regular ounces. We're looking a little over 8 ounces right now. So
That is absolutely insane.
yeah, and I wasn't anticipating finding this, and I know that it's pretty common. It's fairly common to find gold, but not this much in a storage unit.
Yeah, you might find one or two pieces, and maybe in the back of a backpack or tucked in the back of a drawer,
Sure.
but you won't find that much at any given time. So I'm looking up right now, gold per ounce right now. It's about almost $1,300 an ounce. So we're looking at a little over $10,000 worth of gold.
Well, if you take that $1,300 and you divide it by 24 and you multiply it by 14, that's what 14 karat melt would be.
Okay. And now is the majority of what you got 14 karat?
Majority of it, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But did you get some higher karat stuff in there as well?
I think I've got one or two pieces that are 18 karat, but nothing higher than that. But
Okay.
see, some of these things I think are likely worth more than their weight in gold. Like for instance, this opal
Oh,
princess
that is
ring.
beautiful.
And it stands really tall. Something like this I would feel is probably worthy of appraisal rather than selling it just for its weight in gold. And here's one more piece, probably one of my favorites, if I can find it real quick. Where is it? Right here. This ring, I don't know if it's zooming in or not.
May need to put your hand behind it. Put your other hand right behind it, and then it'll help the camera.
Maybe.
Autofocus. Nope. Well, we can add it in, and we'll add it in post production.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Well, it's the gold is kind of shaped somewhat like a vine, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diamonds and what looks to be a blue gemstone of some sort. I wish I could show you guys that. But,
Oh, it looks to be sapphire.
Um, It looks lighter
Or
than
well,
blue
yeah,
sapphire.
maybe
Uh,
what's it called?
yeah, I'm
We'll
not. I'm
we'll
not even
figure it
sure.
out.
But I mean, it's just I don't know. It's just mind blowing. And since finding this storage unit, the other 5 storage units that I've purchased, 2 of them I would consider kind of a bust. One of them, not one of those 2. I mean, I made my money back, but the other one was definitely a bust. And I sure wish that I would have posted that on YouTube just to show everybody that it's not always gold and diamonds. I bought this storage unit a month prior for $50, and essentially what I did was I paid $50 to haul a bunch of trash off.
Yep. And
And
we've been there. I used to buy units myself as well, and uh, yeah, it's not always that way. And I can say that I've been a part of the sale of probably 400 units. Buying either portions or the entirety of units, and I only ran across gold maybe 3 times out of all of those portion units that I was a part of. So you're fine. I really do mean this. I don't want to say it's all downhill from here, but you may be on your best unit you'll see in your entire life. It is very, very impressive what
it's
you've
it's
got.
it's quite possible, Jay. I mean, I feel very fortunate that I struck this kind of unit early on. As my papa says, I'm spoiled. I'm hooked forever. Like I'll be chasing this style of unit for the rest of my life, which is quite possible. But since this discovery and since I started getting into storage units, I've been trying to, preach to people that the importance of diversifying your source of inventory, um, because as time goes on, thrift stores, for instance, people that solely rely on thrift stores for their inventory to resell. Thrift stores are getting smarter and smarter every day. At least the people that run these thrift stores, Goodwill Industries of America, they're getting smarter, and the things that come through their back door of significant value or that have a potential of decent value, a lot of it isn't even getting put on the floor for purchase anymore. It's literally staying in the hands of Goodwill Industries, and they're selling it online on their own auction platform. So, I mean, as time goes on, it's going to become harder and more difficult to find, you know, valuables or even extreme valuables in a thrift store. I'm not saying it's not possible. I know it is. I mean,
Is that
but
what drove you out of the thrift stores? Because I've been experiencing that for a little while here. In my old town and where I moved to now, it felt like each trip, each month, started becoming more and more difficult to just do. I would even say the minimum, just to be able to go out and find $100 or $150 worth of profits. It used to go from I could quickly power through a store, get the easy finds, get in the car, and be on my way. But now I feel I'm being very meticulous and coming out almost empty-handed.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I still like to go to the thrift store. Um, but, but for the most part, I just simply don't have the time. Um,
I don't even find it worth the time anymore. I was telling that to Daniel. We went out to two of them earlier today, and I told him I think I could be doing almost anything other than going to a thrift store and making more money.
well, yeah, as far as, the type of money that you're going to make, finding things at garage sales and finding things at swap meets, you stand a much better chance these days of finding higher valuables. Something that's going to sell for $150 plus on eBay is almost, it's almost, I mean, it's becoming more impossible to find in a thrift store unless you're just the lucky person that's standing there as they wheel out the rack. You know,
Or if you're working in the back, which we've been seeing a lot more of that happening with goods walking out the back door before they make it to the front door.
yeah, there's, well, it's, I can't shame anyone for creating a working relationship with a manager of a thrift store. That's their deal, that's their business. I think it's smart to create a working relationship with a manager of a thrift store if it secures, you know, good sellable product for you, by all means.
I'm
That's
talking on the employee level. We
uh,
had issues with that here in Fresno where inventory was not even making it to the shelves. And one of the worst things I'd ever seen, I don't even know if I talked about it on the show, is I saw an employee bringing inventory out and he was sticking stuff inside of purses when he was unloading the bin. And then as soon as he got off the clock, he would walk right over to the purses, pull the stuff out, and then go up to the register and buy it. And he was the same person in charge of pricing it. And it just created this
uh,
really, really foul dynamic to try and do
yeah,
work in.
that's not too. That's pretty bad. I mean, as far as I understand it, at least the thrift stores around here, I don't believe that any of the employees are allowed to shop in the same store that they work in, which it would be that would kind of put a stop to it.
I've
So,
seen employees have their girlfriends come in too. Little workarounds, kind of turn the blind eye, but that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. So you've been doing the store just 3 months. You're absolutely crushing it on this unit. Do you have any other goodies around you right now that you think we would get a little hoot out of? I know you had some Dungeons and Dragons action that happened.
yeah, I got some of that. Okay, so here's a few Dungeons and Dragons. This is a rule book here,
Not just
and
any rule book.
yeah, this one is, I can't even remember what I priced it at. I think it was somewhere around the $50 range. This is copyright 1976. The same here, okay, and the same here. They're just supplement rule books. But this right here was this is right before Dungeons and Dragons. It's called Chainmail, and it's rules for medieval miniatures. Okay, second edition. This book alone, the last time it was sold on eBay, sold for $485. And
Wow.
sorry, $465. Um, and it's just, I don't know, it's magnificent when you find something like this. You just tell yourself, that storage unit could have been completely wiped out, and the only thing laying on the floor was this.
Mm-hmm.
It would have paid for the storage unit.
And you know what's
It's,
really, really bothersome is that there's people out there that don't take the time to be diligent about stuff like that and would have seen what they could have deemed as an old pamphlet, just some old book with games and just some old nothing. And I guarantee you there's someone somewhere who's pulled that out of a unit and has thrown it directly in the trash. So I applaud your diligence.
oh my gosh, don't even, oh my goodness.
I,
All
I,
right. So,
every time I go to a storage unit, I go through the dumpster. I'll jump right over the edge. I'll look in, and I will always find stuff. People throw away great stuff.
yeah, I mean, I believe it. I absolutely do believe it. This is the last piece of Dungeons and Dragons, at least in this lot that I just recently am getting ready to sell. This is the very first rules book for Dungeons and Dragons. First issue. They have the white box of this rule book, and then they have the wood grain box. Just to give you an idea, this very wood grain box in the first printing sold for $22,000. It was in much better condition than this one is, but it sold for $22,000. This one is the third printing, and it's not in the greatest condition as we can all see, but the books are in quite good shape because they were left in this box. We're looking somewhere around the $5,000 range just for these books here.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Who do we have joining us today?
Oh, this is my buddy Jared.
Oh,
How you doing, Jared? We're shooting an interview right now. Are you in the reseller community as well?
I am not. I wish I had the time. I love enjoying watching Jason do all the crazy things he does. This has been one hell of a find.
Yeah,
But
it's something special.
it really is. This is amazing. I hope people are learning from it and not expecting too much because holy crap, did he get lucky this time?
It's a really special unit.
Yeah.
So Jason, you ended up acquiring about 150 boxes in total. How many of these boxes so far have you gone through and actually gotten processed and started working through?
I've actually, as far as the boxes, I've went through around, I'd say 80% of the unit. Now, that doesn't mean I haven't sat down and actually figured out, the valuation of everything. Um, but I know what's in 80% of the units so far.
So there's still a chance for more big finds.
There's still a chance.
You know what you know what you should do? You should leave that last 20%. Don't even open them. What you do is you take them, you keep them boxed up, you tuck them away in a garage, and every time you buy a crummy storage unit and you think, man, did I waste my time on that? You go and you grab one of those boxes, treat yourself.
It's been Christmas every day for the past 2 weeks. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah, you don't want to overdo it. You want to ration that out. Because like I said, it's going to be a rare day before another one of those comes along. But I'll tell you, I'll be rooting for you. I'll be rooting for you every single day to get another one like that.
Awesome.
Yeah. So Jason, how can people get in touch with you? Because I know you've documented some of this story on a YouTube channel, the Thrift Trader. How can people get in touch to be able to see all of your content, everything that's going on?
Yeah, sure. On Instagram, I am thrift_trader. On Facebook, I run a Resellers Anonymous Facebook group. So that's, I kind of had a play on words, Resellers Anonymous. It's kind of like, someone that's a reseller that's got an addiction to it, So.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I'm definitely addicted to reselling, so I just thought it was a cool name for a Facebook group. And we're almost 7.5 thousand members strong there and growing. So it's been a blast. I enjoy everyone that's in my reseller group. I can always count on them. If I'm staring down the barrel of something I have no idea what it is, I'll just snap a few pictures and be like, guys, what is this thing? And 20 people will comment, so it helps out tremendously.
That's fantastic. And the Thrift Trader YouTube channel, how long have you been doing the YouTube programs?
Yeah, the beginning of 2018, I made a promise to myself that I would start a YouTube channel, because for many years I had just sat on the back end and watched all these resellers, doing YouTube, and I thought it was the coolest thing. Like, I was watching Steve Rakin when he was, digging in the thrift store for men's blazers. That's how long ago, and I was there when Casey Paris started his channel and stuff. I watched them all go from start to finish to what it is today, and I feel like I'm a sociable enough guy to be able to accomplish it. It was something kind of a fear inside of me of cameras, like literally staring into a camera and talking to a camera just felt really awkward to me for the longest time. But the simplicity of it is you have to realize what's on the other side of that camera, and you just have to go for it. That's the only way that you're going to get out of your box, out of the shell, kind of overcome your fear, is just to do it. So.
I tell people this, and maybe you can, agree with my philosophy on it. I tell people that once you've learned how to just dead eye, look straight into a lens and feel confident about what you're saying, that you end up becoming a different person. The person who would be on the other side of the camera, once you become the person on the front side of the camera, I tell people I think it really changes you and the way you're able to communicate and your own self-confidence.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's definitely, it's a different beast, I mean, a lot of people have fear of heights, which I do as well. A lot of people have a fear of standing in front of a crowd of 300 people and talking about something, which I do as well. I have a fear I still need to overcome the fear of taking my video camera out into public and have it right in my own face and just recording and not caring what anyone else around me thinks. I still have that fear, and it's still something that I'm working towards overcoming.
It's a real anxiety.
It is.
Yeah, it puts you out there, because it's not like I'm over here just making a little recording of myself. It's saying, hey, everyone, I've got a camera and I'm filming things, and I believe I am this important to be doing this.
Well, I don't know if it's an important
the perception.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, the thing is overcoming the thought of what everyone else around you is thinking about you in that very moment. Like, personally for me, if I see someone walking around with a camera in their own face, I might be like, man, that guy's got it going on. But someone else is going to be like, that guy is weird. You just have to forget about what anybody else thinks and just do it.
And the other thing about it too is it feels like you're the only person in your town who does that as well. Because I've yet to run into another person with a camera out in front of them, and I live in a town 500,000 people, and I just don't bump into it.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of YouTube creators that don't go out in public in the middle of a crowd and do YouTube videos, and that's fine. But really, in order to catch like the awesomeness of what you do, if you want to catch every moment in your reselling life, like what it is from start to finish, like you're gonna have to, because thrift stores are a public place. Auctions are a public place. The swap meet is a public place. Garage sales are a public place. So, I mean, you're just going to have to do it. And I'm still trying to overcome that fear.
Well, like I said, I'm hoping to come out there sometime over the next year or so. I want to start traveling and thrift in America. So when I work my way out there, I'll make sure I bring a bunch of cameras and lights, and we make it as awkward and as uncomfortable as possible for everyone involved, okay?
That works for me.
Okay. Hey, I want to thank you so much for being on. And if you guys enjoyed this content, please go check out Jason's channel. Fantastic content. Thank you so much for being on air with me today, buddy.
Hey, not a problem, Jay. Thank you for having me.
We'll talk soon.